A recent quote from The Atlantic, one of our nation's oldest and most respected journals, warns us that the American experiment as we know it is not guaranteed to be eternal. The article deals with the startling reality that we as a country are so deeply divided that unless something changes, we could be on the verge of anarchy or even collapse. Now, we as students of prophecy know that the American experiment indeed is not guaranteed to be eternal. And if we're familiar with Revelation 13, verse 11, which we understand to be prophesying the United States coming up out of the earth as a beast with two horns like a lamb, the two horns symbolizing the two notable strengths of the American governmental system. That is, civil liberty and religious liberty. But in verse 11, it concludes by indicating that there would come a change in how governing would be done in this land of freedom. In this week's message, Pastor Shelton reviews the people, places, and events of our founding, and how all of these elements brought us to today and helped our nation endure, indeed, to thrive despite the challenges of our past. But in today's age of anger and hate, now as never before, we need to apply biblical principles taught by Jesus in our relationships with those we disagree with. Jesus says in Matthew 5:43-45, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I say to you, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you." He concludes this section by saying, He, God, makes the sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. And in Ephesians 6:12, the Apostle Paul rightly underscores the fact that behind the scenes in our world and in our nation, a spiritual conflict is taking place. Only by kindness, goodness, and self-sacrificing love can we be sure we're on the right side of the conflict. Whatever our political leanings may be, we need to concentrate on God's love for others. This week, the pastor gives us two suggestions as we come to the culmination of the 2020 election process. Ultimately, God's purpose will overrule all of the devil's schemes. Please join us this Sabbath, either in the sanctuary or on the internet, as the pastor gives us counsel on healing a divided nation. We look forward to seeing you then, and have a blessed day.